Hello, Otafest, and welcome to the newest episode of our podcast.
Hello, it's
Hello.
Angelo.
Hello, it's Nancy.
Nancy's
I'm
not
back.
sick anymore.
I'm not sick anymore.
Yeah.
So I feel like I owe an explanation for that.
Also, I'm Jay.
Yeah.
Who's Jay?
Who's Jay?
I don't know. I
know.
just hang around mostly.
He's
Okay.
that guy that pushes the buttons.
I do push the
It's
buttons.
him.
Anyway, sorry, Nancy, you were
So I
you were out.
I was just down and out. So
You missed duck.
I mean it in every sense of the word or the phrase when I say that 2019 ended horribly and then
It started
2020 started significantly better because I spent New Year's Eve with whatever norovirus is just like spreading like wildfire through the city, and I spent 8 hours puking my guts out. I was still throwing up even though I had nothing left to throw up. It was the worst feeling ever.
Yeah, there's been a major bug going around this winter. Like, you're not the first one that I've heard with
No.
like this bad flu. People should get their flu shots and stuff, but it's tough sometimes because you can't actually guarantee. Like, if people don't know how the whole flu shot system works when they kind of give out like the free vaccinations, it's basically they look at what they think are the most likely to propagate strains.
Mhm.
Like,
But they look at it about a year in advance.
Right,
So
they're
they're making a best guess
Yeah,
based on how likely certain strains are to spread within
Exactly.
the next 6 months. And then they work on creating and formulating those vaccines, and then those go into production later.
Yeah.
And then they become available to the general public and
to
all
spread
that.
the autism.
Right.
So
Anyway.
it's kind of so it's tough. It doesn't mean people shouldn't get their flu vax.
No.
It does, but it does mean that it's not 100% guaranteed.
Well,
Like it's
the
it's more
worst-
guaranteed against the ones that are actually.
The worst part about this specific virus
there.
that I got was that it's not even related to the
No,
flu.
it's not.
It's a gastro problem. Like,
Yes.
this is definitely an ingested bug. It goes like right through your digestive system.
and it just doesn't
it's-
help during like the holiday season.
Right, and
Right.
that's when
You have-
everyone's
Everyone's
getting together.
off. They're getting together.
Exactly. Warm
Yeah.
places, really easy.
Lots of people in tight
really
spaces.
easy viral propagation.
Yeah, and it's cold out, so everyone's going to be spending time together inside, usually in like a very enclosed space.
Yeah.
And not everyone's with all the excitement. Not everyone's washing their hands every
Yeah.
time they do this.
Getting
and that
sick
and-
is awful. You know what's not awful to get?
What?
Your Otafest weekend pass for
Nice.
$55.
Because you didn't get it at 50, but now you can get it at 55 online. You can get your weekend pass for 55. You can get single day passes at the regular price at otafest.com. So
And
do
for
that now.
$55, that's $5 off the door price. That's $5 more you can spend in Artist Alley or at vendors.
Or Sketch Drive.
May Cafe.
Yeah.
May Cafe.
May Cafe.
Wonderful.
Save
things.
that $5, dudes.
Do it for something.
Be
Do it for
financially
yourself.
responsible. If you know you're going to go anyway, just get it.
Yes. Otherwise, we don't have too much other news for you folks. We are still working on tidying up some contract work, and aside from that, we should be good to go to announce some things maybe in late January and February. So I hope everyone keeps their ears open for that.
Mhm.
Otherwise, 2019 is. Wait, I don't know why I wrote 2019. 2020 is now. When it comes to writing dates, I've like written 2019 like probably
All
15
week.
times already.
All
Yeah.
week.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. But 2020 games.
Don't do any legal paperwork
I-
this first week of January.
True. Actually, there was a weird little sort of PSA going around about if you're going to
write down the date.
write
Write
down
down
the
the
date,
full year.
write down
instead
the
of
full
just
year,
the
yeah,
20.
because people were like, oh, but if you just write like 01 for January, 08 for
The
the day, but then you write 20 for the year, someone could write 2019, and then your check could still be like legally valid.
I'm a
for
firm
that,
believer in
whatever.
at least having an ISO standard for dates, and it angers me that there's still not a unified way to write dates.
Yeah, it's really weird. America sort of is the outlier because the world does it.
I mean, as
I
far
think
as
it's
I'm
day, month,
concerned,
year.
everyone who doesn't do year, month, day is doing it wrong.
Year,
I
month,
do.
day.
I also do year, month, day.
Year, month,
like,
day.
Either day, month, year or year, month, day are
Yes,
the most
but
obvious
but America
ones.
specifically does it month, day, year
Yes,
yeah,
they
yeah.
do.
because they do it the way that you talk, but not the way that you should notate it.
Yes.
Well, like I personally think that day, month, year is the easiest, the most obvious. But at the same time, when I'm like naming files and everything in a computer, I always want to do year, month, day because then it sorts
Yes.
by the most reasonable, the best sorting method.
Yeah. The
Yeah.
most significant, least significant
Yeah.
order of
That
those
makes
units.
sense.
For me, the thing that is the most clarifying if I ever have to write dates is I always write the month name out. Regardless of where it goes in the string, I
Ah.
always write the name of the month,
No.
and then all the other numbers will more or less fall in line.
The only problem I have with that is that, not that like I need to do that much legal writing outside of Canada or English speaking countries, but like it's not that, and you know they can figure it out. But if you use numbers, pretty much it's universal. Whereas if you write out in English, then it's something that has to be.
That's true.
translated.
Yeah, that's true. Like
It's a small thing, but
the difference
I'm more
between
aware of it.
November and November, everyone could get confused.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't know.
I don't know.
I just
People
realized,
legitimately don't know French,
I just realized I don't know the names of months in other languages other than French and English.
right?
And, you know,
but numbers
in-
are numbers,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Even in like languages that don't
Doesn't matter if you're saying 4 or 4. It's the same
sort of
number.
like people figure out that number like everyone sort of knows Arabic numerals now.
Mhm.
Like it's the most standardized language.
It's to the point where a
So-
lot of people don't realize they're Arabic numerals.
Yes. There was a little troll thread that I read recently about like I can't believe they're teaching our kids Arabic numerals. Get that crap out of here. Yeah. Anyway, in 2020, there's finally been some games that I've been wanting to play, and they're finally out. Monster Hunter, Monster Hunter World Iceborne, the DLC finally came out 4 months after it came out on console. It's a beautiful game. My only weird hang up about playing it is right now we have a cold snap happening in Calgary, and as you can imply by the DLC title Iceborne, it's in a very cold setting. And this happened with Red Dead Redemption as well, because in RDR2, when
so
that
you're
first
saying
came
you
out,
want to play your video games to get away from the cold.
no, well, I mean a little bit because it's like fantasy and getting out of things like that. But the big thing is, I don't know why, but it's been a strange coincidence so far. When Red Dead Redemption 2 came out, the first sort of prologue chapter places you in the mountains, and it's also very cold. Back in November was the release, and we had a cold snap in November. And I remember when I was playing, just as I did with Iceborne's release, I looked out my window and it was just driving snow, and I'm just like, I'm just in my room going, the graphics are wonderful. Like I'm just like, oh, this is great. Like,
For a
yeah,
second,
they really
I was going
nailed
to
the
be like, that's not
texture.
what real ice looks like. It looks way colder outside.
Yeah, no, but there's just like some weird like sickness. I think about like, oh, like I'm just my character is freezing literally. Like there's debuffs applied to you because it's cold outside. It sure looks cold in this world. All the trees are covered. All
So it
there's
adds to the
3
immersion.
foot. Yeah, and I was just like, this snow looks amazing as I look out the window. And be like, weird.
I have a third monitor and the game's on it too.
I
Yeah.
sure hate to be out
And its sole purpose is to add atmosphere. That's all it's for.
Yeah.
It's like how playing Deus Ex in Detroit adds a degree of immersion.
I was about to say something like that because Cyberpunk 2077 is coming out in April. I
so
finally
excited.
pre-bought that one.
Oh, yeah?
Ooh.
I'm willing to I understand the general idea of not pre-purchasing, but
Well-
there's certain studios that I outright trust with my money.
In
so
the
I don't
case
mind.
of Steam now, pre-ordering is safer.
I guess.
rather- It's safer than it used to be.
No,
I
no,
would
no.
still never pre-order.
no.
CD Projekt Red has my highest level of respect when it
Yes.
comes to out of all of the game studios
Yeah,
At least
whose
for the
products
quality of
I've
game.
ever played. Like, come on, did you guys see The Witcher 3?
It's not even just like it's how they handle their games. It's how they sort of communicate with their community about
Absolutely.
everything. Like, so there's no. They were like, well, we're probably gonna put out paid DLC, but we're not gonna do like any nickel and dime transactions, and like it's just not gonna happen. And they like announce these at like big events, like I think it was at E3 or something else
Mhm.
like that.
Mhm.
So again, you just kind of you can trust them. The only bad thing about pre-ordering, of course, is like you just don't know how good the game will be. Like I know people get burned by like No
Oh, I
Man's
don't
Sky, for
know.
example,
I don't know.
right?
CD
Yeah.
Projekt Red has been.
I don't
I've
think
ever
I have,
been disappointed.
But
so
again, I don't have that issue with CD Projekt Red.
Exactly.
But if you told me that, like for example, Star Wars Fallen Order, like it wasn't. It's still sort of produced by or directed by sort of an EA group, but you don't like there's understandably a lot of and what is it like you're not really certain about how well the game's going to come out, even though it was technically made by another studio.
I'm not fond of pre-orders.
Yes.
I'm not gonna pre-order Half-Life Alyx.
Okay, that's fair.
Well, it doesn't matter because you would have if you got an
I've
Index.
already bought the headset. I know I'm gonna buy it.
Wait, you
I'm not-
bought the Index headset?
No, I've got the Vive.
Yeah, I know, but that's what I'm saying. Like, but you didn't buy it new from the Steam Index that would come with Alex.
Of course, but that's what I mean. Like,
But you were never going to buy it
I'm
new anyways.
going to get
We had this
Alex
conversation.
because Alex is the reason I bought the Vive.
Yeah. Bayfar,
I'm still not gonna pre-order.
Bayfar picked up a used headset, a
Nice.
used VR headset. I think it's the Oculus.
The Rift.
Rift.
Might be the Rift. I think it's not the Quest.
Okay.
I think it's an Oculus.
it's probably a Rift.
It might be a Vive, but I don't remember. I'm pretty sure it's an Oculus.
If it's not Oculus, it's probably the Rift or the Rift S.
Yeah.
But the Rift S is like current, so it'd be interesting to find one used.
So I've been sort of like I think the most vocal person about like not really caring about VR or like not loving VR games. There is one game that I've been playing recently that I would really like to try in VR, which is Subnautica, which is an older game.
Oh,
It's a bit
yeah.
of I think it's technically an indie game,
It is.
right?
Mhm.
Although it's grown to a point where people are paying attention to what
Well,
they're
it's
doing.
like
and how
PUBG
they're
was an
developing.
indie game.
Yeah, yeah. So Subnautica, I just got it because it was on sale over the winter, and for
Mhm.
$20, I got like the old Subnautica and their new release.
Hmm.
It hits every one of my sort of like basic interests, which is like zoology, specifically
Marine zoology.
marine
biology.
biology,
JoJo.
right?
Nice.
And then there's like exploration, there's building, there's like a bit of story, but it hits on all of those sort of like triggers for me where I'm like, this is excellent. This is everything I really want. It does have a VR mode. I don't really know what it's
Oh,
going to
really?
be like, but I'm hoping for Bayfar to get it because he ordered it. Well, he bought it from someone in Edmonton, so it has to make its way down. But I'm gonna definitely try it because I don't have anything against like Beat Saber or I don't know Skyrim VR or whatever. But I've never really been interested in that specific offering.
Mhm.
I
That's fair.
guess.
I-
But
Well, it's like in the
Subnautica
case of
feels
Skyrim,
like- yeah,
it's a game that you've probably played on 5 different platforms already.
yeah. They definitely give you
I'm-
the possibility to
I'm
do
pretty
so.
sure they've ported it to like an old Nokia with a T9.
Yeah,
pad.
Did you see that video where Ryan Reynolds who tries to play it on Alexa?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I
Yes.
heard about that. That
Yeah.
you can.
It was actually really funny.
That
well
was
done.
a April Fool's
It was
Yeah.
an April Fool's
thing
joke.
that they had going on.
Because
Uh,
the joke is that Skyrim's on everything.
Yeah.
It would be fun on VR though. I think that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, Subnautica VR, that would be wild.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I know you just helped one of our friends, Angelo, recently build a new computer.
Yeah.
My computer's not old. It's about 2 years, which is like really nothing.
You're gonna be in a different situation than her
I'm
because
gonna-
you have a lot of parts you can reuse.
I'm
Which
gonna
is
build a
a
brand
good
new machine.
thing. Well,
Case and all.
Probably case and all because
wow.
I don't know. I'm still sort of so before I apologize if it gets a little bit too technical because I know not everyone's always into computer parts, but I'm planning to build essentially the best computer that I would ever want to build in terms of like, in the immediacy and how new it's going to be because this year
gonna get a Threadripper build.
so the RTX
We're gonna get
the
you
RTX
a
3080
core Threadripper.
the
Oh.
3080 is coming, so
We're
I'm
gonna
gonna
get
get
you
a
dual
3080
core 2080
Ti.
Ti's.
No.
Oh
You
God.
can, I'll get a 3080 Ti graphics card because the RTX 2080 is pretty good, but it's still sort of like it was like its first major step into RTX graphics.
Yeah.
So it actually has like it's good, but it's not great. The RTX is supposed the
Has
3080.
Nvidia said anything about putting a new graphics card out this
Yeah.
year?
Yeah, It's slated for June, July.
Oh wow.
I actually did
Okay.
not know that.
I haven't heard anything about this.
Yeah.
And with ray
And
tracing,
like for the 10
with
series, it was like a year and a half
yeah,
before they put out anything new.
with
Yeah.
its like the ray tracing tech, they're expected to refine the crap out of it. Like it's not necessarily going to like it's going to be
Hopefully
leaps
the ray
and bounds like
tracing
strong.
is better
Yeah.
They're
because
using
the ray tracing on the 20 series, like the technology was good.
yeah.
The performance was dog shit.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's what the 3080 is supposed to like represent. That
Yeah.
they're gonna
I
really
should preface
Fair.
that the performance for traditional ray tracing was fucking amazing.
But
It's just
for-
that the overall performance
suffer
was
it as
not
it is.
what
Yeah.
you would expect out of a $1,000 or $1,200 graphics card.
Right.
Exactly.
And then I think I'm gonna be sticking with AMD architecture. So
Oh,
I think
AMD CPUs. There's no reason to go into
Yeah.
right now.
the Zen 3s are
They're amazing.
they're coming out soon as
No,
well.
they're out.
The Zen 3s are out.
Like the 3000 series Ryzen.
I don't know if
Or
I don't
that's
think,
the Zen
no,
2
no, 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 no.
architecture.
That's Zen 2 architecture.
That just came out. Zen 3 is not going to come out till next year.
No, Zen 3 is coming out sooner than later. It's coming out in like August.
No.
I'm pretty sure. I've been doing my research.
Maybe.
Like I don't know if you
Like,
unless you
the,
looked at
the
it
3000 series of Ryzen.
like the 3000 no, but the 3000 series I don't think is technically the
That's Zen 2.
nomenclature for
So I guess as a side note, where do the two of you like to keep up on PC architecture?
I just subscribe to a few technology channels personally, like Linus Tech Tips. Gamers
Mhm.
Nexus is fantastic, actually.
I just scavenge my way through the internet. I don't have dedicated
Uh,
websites like he
I
does.
used to keep up just by browsing G on 4chan.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I would not recommend that.
No.
Ooh, I could. If it uses
But-
AM4 and DDR4, I can use my current board, which I actually really like.
Probably not, because
No,
your
it
current
is.
board is yours Ryzen first gen Ryzen.
Yeah, it's a first gen Ryzen.
You can't even use the Ryzen 2 stuff then. Chances are.
It's an AM4 socket.
Yeah, but a lot of the current, like the 3000 series Ryzen,
Yeah.
a lot of the first gen boards did not get the BIOS updates to allow them. Some of the like.
I mean,
God.
I'll see. I'll have to do
So
more
yours
research,
is
'cause I'm just
X370 chipset, right?
I think so. Yes. Yes, it is.
A lot of those boards did not
Z370.
get upset. Did not Z370. That's Intel.
No, I think it's a Z370. I can look it up. It's a TU.
X370 and B350.
No, wait, B350.
B350. Okay.
Yeah.
Chances are it did not get a BIOS update, even to the Ryzen 3000 series Ryzen. A lot of the 450s and X470 chipsets did. So chances are you will have to update your motherboard, even though technically it would.
That's
fit.
too bad. Well, I don't like. Like
But
a
beyond
motherboard
that-
doesn't cost that much. First of all, I really just do like this motherboard, so I'll probably get something in a similar vein.
Any particular reason you like that one?
It's a micro ATX board. so it's
Chances are
fairly,
the-
like the form factor is smaller.
You might be
Yeah.
able to buy Dio's. Oh no, she's got a first gen Ryzen
It has,
too.
but it has I think 3 or 4 slots for RAM alone, so which is kind of nice, which is rare.
I wouldn't have 3,
Well, too bad.
and 4 is pretty normal.
Yeah.
Although on an
For-
ITX, that's
No, micro
actually.
ATX.
Oh,
So-
micro ATX, yeah, that's normal.
So
Yeah.
I guess
But it's nice to have
scheduling
better
wise, when are you planning to have this all built?
See, I wish everything came out before Cyberpunk 2077.
Yep.
But it's gonna
Here's
be
the thing.
it's gonna have to be after, so I'll probably have it by August.
In your situation, if you're replacing everything, like if you intend to replace your
I'm-
storage,
I'm also
your
replacing
graphics
like
card?
my monitors.
then go replace the motherboard anyway, because
Yeah, I guess.
you're going to have to. There's not going to be a BIOS update for a 4-year-old motherboard to a new CPU.
Fair.
Fine.
But
Aww.
uh,
As Jay's wallet starts crying.
things
a
like
little bit.
PCI Express version 4, which was introduced with the 3000 series Ryzen chips,
Yeah.
you wouldn't have that anyway. And storage is where that's taken advantage of.
No, I see where you're coming from. I want to put this out there that I don't think most people should do this, but I just figured that once in my lifetime I wanted, like, my computer right now is already like the best computer I've ever built.
It's really awesome to have
But
the high end.
I just want to have like the one high-end computer. Maybe it's not going to have 3080 Ti's SLI to dual,
when
like,
I upgraded
graphics
to
or
the Pega
anything.
64, it felt magical.
yeah, like I
Yes.
just want to have as reasonably speaking, top of the line computer that I can have, and then I'm also already at this point planning that the rest of my computers for the rest of my lifetime can be just like more like above average builds, but nothing amazing. Understanding that in like 5 or 10 years, that average or above average computer will just be a regular like it will have already beaten this amazing computer I'm planning to build just because of technology over time, you know. But I'm really looking
already
forward
in
to
the
it just to
position
have
where
that
I'm
one.
trying to look for deals and just getting weird, fun hardware
Yeah.
more than the most powerful thing.
With
Like
how
I
many-
got
which-
the Vega 64 at a really good sale,
Yeah.
and then I slapped on an aftermarket cooler to it.
Oh, nice.
So my Vega 64 is like the only Vega 64 that is like mine.
Yeah. How much computer parts you have just lying around? How many full computers do you think you could build?
0.
0?
I have no second motherboards.
Okay. That's funny.
Like-
that kills that really quick.
Like I've got other working computers,
Yeah.
but for the spare parts, like I've got a CPU.
Yeah.
But I would need a motherboard for it.
Yeah.
I would need probably RAM for that motherboard, unless I got a really fucking weird motherboard that supported ECC RAM for an i5.
Mm.
ECC registered RAM at that point. I would have the graphics card. I don't have another power supply. I don't need a spare. I need a spare power supply for a different project I've got going on.
Fair enough.
Do you have any hard drives for any of these?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've got some
Interesting.
spare hard drives for my NAS that I could use,
I've never.
but I
had
want to
spare
save those
hard
for my
drives.
NAS.
I'm
never
also
had
in
them.
that.
Like,
I've never been an external user, and I've never really had like.
The thing about my
spares.
NAS is that these hard drives were thrown out to begin with because there's already bad sectors on them.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I don't have spare usable hard drives. If I have a spare hard
It's
drive
just
around,
that-
it's because it's broken.
The hard drives, they still work. They
Yeah.
could die at any given point in time. So that's why I have more sketchy hard drives to shove in there.
Right.
Mm.
So those are dedicated to that machine. I do have one spare hard drive that I could use. It's a 150 gig hard drive. It is one of the Western Digital Velociraptor drives.
Ooh.
Those
It sounds
10,000
cool, but is it good?
RPM hard
yeah.
drives. It was
those ones.
It was a 2.5-inch hard drive
Mhm.
with a 3.5-inch heatsink on it.
Oh,
my
wow,
It's
that's
so
God.
cool.
That's in. It sounds like it's the opposite of cool.
That reminds me of that time the previous employer was selling off old server blades.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, does anybody want one? Like $10, you can take it home. Like we don't want them anymore.
Well, that's the thing. Like my NAS is a dual socket Xeon server.
I'm gonna say
Each
that
socket is a 6-core 12-thread Xeon.
the server blade they were selling off is the size of this table.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I bet.
Well, no, that would be the chassis, right?
That's
And then
that's
there'd
the
be the
actual
blades.
blade.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Listening to
That wouldn't
thing.
even fit in a rack.
No, that's the whole point. It's a
Would
corporate.
it fit in Iran?
It's a corporate blade. It doesn't fit in anything consumer.
That would be
Goodbye joke. Rest in
like
peace.
a chassis the size of a rack.
Yes.
Would it fit in?
I'm not talking about
Afghanistan?
consumer. I'm talking about enterprise to begin
Would
with.
Yeah,
it
they're
fit in
fucking
Syria?
big. I'm not allowed
Would
to
it
say
fit in?
that.
E6400 chassis was just like,
Like I said, I'm gonna plan on building a computer that's gonna last me probably at least 5 years. Hopefully, I'll probably swap parts in to make it last longer.
Mhm.
The amazing specs that it's required to
my
run something
computer
at
is basically the ship of
144
Theseus.
hertz.
The ship of, I think that's the name, the ship of Theseus,
Yeah,
where it's like you're swapping out parts and eventually it's not even the same thing anymore.
right.
But at what point did it stop being the original thing?
yeah, but you've used the same case, so it looks the same.
No,
on the
I've
outside.
changed the case out.
Oh, then it's not.
I
no,
used
it's
to
not
have the
even
Antec
remotely-
300,
Yeah,
and now I have the Corsair C70, I think it is. But I did that before I got my current motherboard.
yeah,
My current motherboard was changed out.
Yeah.
After I got this case, and that did the motherboard and the CPU, but not the RAM.
Hmm.
Really weird shower thought for you. As a human, all of the cells in your
7
body
years.
turn over
In roughly 7 years.
in
Yeah, give or
roughly
take.
7 years, so you're literally not the same mass that
Every
you were
human is
before.
the ship of Theseus.
Yes. It is a weird shower thought.
you had something that you wanted to say about
Oh yeah. So
gi-
back.
giving games as gifts.
Okay.
I want to before we get into this.
Yes.
Are we talking physical or are we talking digital?
I think that would have a
We're
huge
talking-
part of it.
Board or like board games, tabletop games versus
Any-
digital games.
Any
games?
game My policy is, if you give me a game, I will play it.
Oh,
That's
completely different from what I thought of. I had my own idea of what I thought it might be.
What did you think it was?
I thought you were gonna say something like giving a digital
games.
download for a game as a gift fucking sucks.
I don't think it.
No.
No,
I don't think that's actually necessarily true much because
It
me
can
and
be
Olive-
fine, but I mean like Christmas morning, if you give someone a card that just says check your Steam account, that's lame.
I think the reason
I feel like
doesn't
being
I
able to
impact me-
unwrap a tangible thing.
I'll be
Yeah, but
totally honest with you.
Yeah.
If people just stopped getting me regular gifts, but they just went onto my Steam wish list and got me the games that I have like on that wish list, I'd probably be happier unless it was like socks. That's age
Mental
talking
note.
for you.
Mental notes. No. I think the reason that doesn't impact me at all is because we don't really do Christmas morning.
That's fair.
We
I
don't-
also don't really do Christmas morning.
We don't do that thing where you all sit around and you open gifts. So I guess maybe that
Changes that whole
that
right?
dynamic for me specifically. But I mean, you still do that thing where every morning you check your email. That's kind of like a virtual version of going through.
God, that's like a really sad version, but
But
you're right.
that's the one that tells you, hey, someone
Your
sent
bill
you a
payment is
Steam
up.
gift.
Oh.
And you're like, oh,
I
what's
guess.
this?
I think it's more
amongst
like-
all of my bills
Yeah.
and my promotional emails.
Like, I mean, I'll be honest, most of the time during Christmas or like gift giving times, when I get a present is when I open it, number one.
Yeah.
We don't do, like, Bayfar and I don't do a tree. We did spend like Christmas morning together. We were chilling, eating chocolate.
Hell
and
yeah.
Watching
And
TV.
personally, as a gift giver, I hate sitting on gifts after I've found something for someone that I want to give to them. I hate it being that random month in the middle of the year where it's not a birthday, it's not an occasion, it's not a whatever. I can't just make up a bullshit excuse to just be like, Jay, I got you something. And you're gonna be like, what, why?
Yeah.
And the answer is because I thought you would like it. Like,
It's for you,
that's-
bitch.
waiting till Christmas is the worst. Because
Yeah.
now you're sitting on this perfect thing you want to give someone, and all you want them to do is to have
So-
it.
Have it, right? Because it's for them. That's
Have
my
you heard of the
policy.
game Super Seducer?
No?
No.
Would you play it?
Well, you're
I mean,
based
if you
off
give
her
it
policy.
to me,
yes.
I will.
But
This is
playing
how
it-
I got.
okay,
This
but
is
playing
also
it-
how I spent 40 hours in Honey Pop.
But
Honey
Honey
Pop
Pop's
was
a good game.
game.
Like, I actually like the puzzle in that game.
Oh,
Like, it's
yeah.
not too
No, I liked it
difficult, but
too.
it's just sort of
The
fun.
dating sim part was kind of cringy, but it was
But
still
the actual
fun.
puzzle part, I was just
The
like, this is
puzzles were
fun.
fun. It was great.
Yeah, what's the how far does the policy extend? Is 5 minutes playing the game, or is a complete
So,
like one branch playthrough?
friends
this?
who commit themselves to this policy will know that I will give them running commentary on this game. Because if you send me a game that I didn't specifically like have on my Steam wish list or like I ever expressed extreme interest for,
Oh.
like I am gonna get the 7 remake
So
or anything like that. If you throw me a curveball,
right.
I'm gonna be like, "Did you get this for me?" You're probably gonna say yes, unless for some reason you accidentally clicked on something.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be like,
If it could guarantee a running commentary, it would almost be worth it to gift you Super Seducer.
It's true, and Super
So-
Seducer 2.
okay, here's the thing. If you're gonna give me a game where you do want that running commentary, I will set up Twitch so I can stream it.
I was about to
Oh,
say you might
so
as well
good.
like document or archive the if you're gonna have running commentary.
Document the journey.
Yeah.
Document the journey for you and for everyone who wants to be
Yeah.
involved. But that's the thing is if you're gonna give me
A game.
a random game, you're allowed to choose what you want to hear from me. So if you want me to give you running commentary, I will absolutely give you 100% unfiltered
What's the
running
weirdest
commentary.
game that you've received and you then played?
That is
Weirdest
part
or
of the vault
worst?
that I don't go into.
Those are the repressed memories.
Those go in the vault.
Uh,
Those don't really come out that often.
Let's do that.
Weirdest game. Actually, I think most of my friends have been really good about giving me good games. Like usually people want me to
Most
experience
people
a good
don't
game.
want to pay for a shitty game.
Exactly.
too.
That too.
Like
But
I,
Angelo's about to buy you
oh,
Super
good
Seducer.
no, because I literally don't want to buy it. I don't want to spend money on that game.
Then we're at a bit of an impasse.
Yeah.
But my original
No one should.
my original tie-in was because when I was sick that week of New Year's, I attempted to start playing Divinity Original Sin 2 because it was a game that a very good friend got for me.
It's a fairly older game now, isn't it?
It's an older game now.
Well, there was Original Sin and then Original Sin 2.
I had
Wasn't
Original Sin. I
2
played
kind of new?
a chunk of it, and I never finished it, and I really should. But I need like someone to play through it with.
Is it multiplayer?
It is.
Oh, I don't know.
And it has a split screen mode, and you can just do co-op over the network. But a friend got
It looks like Diablo.
Divinity 2, and then he's been giving me a shit time about not having played it, and because I spent the last 4 months with most of my life in turmoil, I haven't. And for that 4 days, I was just on the couch, incapacitated. I wasn't able to move. I wasn't able to read. I wasn't able to sleep. So what am I going to do? Maybe I'll try playing video games.
A little bit of video games between the vomit times.
Yeah, pretty much. So I did start
Video
playing
and vomit.
it.
That's your
I
that's the
need-
channel.
I need to make the form of comment. Like I can summarize some of the commentary that I gave him. One is it's a UX nightmare. If you want to go talk to a merchant and they're surrounded by tons of things around them because they're a merchant and there's a store that they're in and they have wares that are out, you can steal them. But if you're actually just trying to come up to the guy and talk to him and he happens to move 3 pixels over, you end up stealing something.
What's a game with a perfect UI to you?
Oh.
Solitaire.
Okay. Okay, on the scale of Skyrim to Solitaire, how bad is the UI?
Skyrim?
Kind of Skyrim-y.
Okay,
but
that's
not.
bad.
Skyrim it hit me.
It's kind of Skyrim-y. Like you're gonna go and this was another problem I had with Skyrim too.
Skyrim's UI is fucking atrocious.
It is pretty atrocious. But the thing is that I ended up stealing garbage in Skyrim that I didn't want. I actually didn't want it at all. I just happened to hit the wrong button because things moved.
Stop right there, criminal scum.
And they ended up, the traditional, I had a hit squad sent after me because apparently I stole something that I
chicken
didn't
saw
want.
you steal something.
It was a dog.
Oh.
You stole a dog?
I stole a dog's book, and a dog sent a hit squad after me.
The dog said
That's
dog-
because you're a bad person because you stole from a
Apparently.
dog.
But
Wait a
I
minute,
mean,
wasn't there one of those Daedric guys who was a dog?
Maybe.
Was it him?
Yeah,
I
maybe.
think the dog's name was actually Angelo. Funny enough.
Yeah.
I
No,
don't remember.
that's the dog from
That's from Final Fantasy VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Reno's dog.
That doesn't copyright
This
dogs
is
in
basically
video games named.
This looks like to me
Angelo.
a major ripoff of just like not ripoff. I shouldn't
It's
say that.
very
but
heavily
it's D3.
inspired by Diablo.
It looks like
pretty
D3
sure. But anyway,
specifically.
there's just so many times where you're just trying to talk to freaking people, and you end up picking up something you're not supposed to, and then everyone turns around in the vicinity and points their fingers at you and
Stop
is like,
thief.
"Hey, you! Stop right there! You put that back!" And you're like, "I didn't want it to begin with." Ah!
Yeah.
And that happened to me a lot, and it was frustrating. And this goes right back to my whole deal with Final Fantasy XI. I couldn't play it without mods, but what kind of a game do you spend money on that you can't play without mods?
Yeah.
Gary's mod actually. I wouldn't play that game without
Actually,
mods.
Beat Saber 2.
Oh?
Well, you can play the game with the songs that are built in, or you can mod the game and then play all the weeb shit songs.
Or you can play
I mean,
Left
why
4 Dead
wouldn't
2
you?
and
That's like when they
all
had
the zombies.
the DDR on the PC where you just play it with your little D-pad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No. I'm telling you, Left 4 Dead 2, change all the zombies to like Lucky Star characters.
Oh, wow.
No, you change the survivors to the Lucky Star characters.
No,
But I
change
mean-
the zombies because then they're all chasing after you
The
as Lucky
game-
Star characters. It's hilarious.
Yeah, but the game is
Timotei!
fundamentally broken if you don't mod it so that you make it playable. Like
It's a Timotei level.
the actual menu in Final Fantasy XI was atrocious.
Right.
And people were like, "Oh yeah, we don't play that." Like all of my friends that played it regularly, they were like, "Oh yeah, we don't play it without the mods." Like the mods make the game playable.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, especially in Final Fantasy XI where it was a monthly subscription.
I know. It's
If-
not like you get to
If
stop
you're
giving
paying
them money.
monthly and they're not making the game usable, fuck that noise.
Maybe it's because you're
I
not a
know.
Japanese and you don't appreciate the UI system of Japanese.
I'm just gonna say Nintendo.
No, that's not it at all.
Nintendo hasn't changed their business practices in decades because it's worked for them, and they're just going to keep doing it. But
Nintendo
anyway,
prints money like
Divinity.
it's nobody's business.
So I really, really I take a lot of issues with the UX. It's extremely dated. It's not very good. I'm trying to play the game with a controller, and that doesn't really make it any better, which to me screams there's maybe fundamental problems here.
But I don't know if that's a good game to play with.
But I really like the storytelling. I like that any character that you choose to be, all of the choices that you're asked to make, you never actually know what the consequences are. It's 100% off the cuff, like, what kind of a mood am I in right now? Like, there is a priestess who has asked you nicely to go find a jar with her name on it. You find it, and then she goes, give it to me! Give it to me now, you impudent scum! And you're like, you
Fuck
know?
you! I'm keeping the jar.
I'm just gonna... And you have the option to just drop it. And I'm just like, psh, shatters on the floor, she dies. You get the fattest loot possible out of that. But then, you've ruined a character. And it's like, part of me wants to be a good person, and part of me just wanted you to die in a fire because you were being mean to me in that split second.
I mean, if someone's rude to you,
Yeah,
let them
game.
burn.
Yeah. Unfortunately for you, I am the High King of Skyrim.
Are you? Are you?
And I sentence you to death.
It's like, if someone is like that in a video game, it's like, you know what? I have to deal with people. I had to deal with people like you
All
every day while working retail. It would be extremely cathartic
Yeah.
See
if
see
you were
episode
ended
2 about our
through your
stories
own.
about retail.
But the biggest betrayal there is when you find out that they're actually an essential NPC and they can't die.
I know.
That actually
That's the
happened to
other
me in
thing.
Skyrim.
Yeah, that
Not
happens
not
a
for a
lot.
main quest, just for a side quest.
No, but it happens.
Where I had to give something to a guy, but I show up and he's being attacked by mobs and they kill him.
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah,
it's
that
like, wait a
happens to me
minute,
too.
this is the guy. I'm just stuck with this key item that weighs some amount of weight,
Do you
and I
think-
can't get rid of it.
Do you think Skyrim 6, or not Skyrim 6, Elder Scrolls 6 is actually going to be any good?
Probably.
Honestly, it'll
Well,
probably...
actually, wait.
I really wonder if it's because you look at sort of Bethesda properties as of late.
If you compare with Skyrim, Skyrim was a good game despite the UI flaws and other flaws.
Despite
when you
its flaws in general, yeah,
It was a good game. It was.
potentially.
Maybe.
If you compare it to the way that, like, if they do what they've done with Fallout,
I really wonder if 6 is going to be as like I'll tell you right now. I know that there's not a lot of info out for Elder Scrolls 6, but at this
did I
particular
dream this,
moment,
or did they confirm that it was happening in elsewhere?
God, Fairy City. I don't know. Actually, you might have dreamed it. I haven't heard anything about it. But
Okay, I
I
might
was
have
gonna
just
say
dreamed
that I don't.
Maybe.
It's not close to being a day one purchase for me.
Oh, good God, no, no, hell no. Fuck
Very
no.
few things
Don't
are day one
pre-order it.
purchases for me.
I can tell you what my day one purchases are because some of them I've already pre-ordered. My next day one purchase is probably going to be the new Breath of the Wild.
Okay.
That's like I've got Cyberpunk coming in right now. I'm playing Iceborne right now. That just came out 2 days ago. Like I know sort of what my day ones are, and I do like the Elder Scrolls series, but it's not even close right now. It's like a month and then wait and then see
If I'm like
it feels good.
not pre-ordering Half-Life Alyx when I've already bought the hardware to play it, there's no way in chance that I'm pre-ordering freaking Elder Scrolls right now. I would not pre-order anything Bethesda put out after what they did with Fallout 76.
Fallout 76. Like
That's all you have to say, that's
the
the
legend
joke.
of the legend of like the sort of how they've handled their entire customer base.
That
regarding
game had
that is
so much
amazing.
hype, and at every point they fucked things up.
Yep.
I really don't think that.
They couldn't
Something
have
else.
done worse with the release and the handling of that game. Like, Anthem was a colossal fuck up, and it looks small compared to Fallout 76. Anthem was a boring train wreck
Yeah, but the difference
compared to
between
the train wreck that
the
is Fallout
difference
76.
between that is that I think that Anthem sort of didn't ever really live up to any hype, whereas like
It had
76
hype.
had
And it delivered nothing, but that's
Sort of.
all it did.
yeah.
After it was released, it was just boring.
Going back to sort of
Fallout 76 was the train wreck that just kept wrecking.
No, but going back to like way earlier when we were talking about like sort of if you would ever pre-purchase What do you have like a list of studios that you sort of trust? Because like I will like I do.
No,
I do, but
I
it's-
used to, but
I
no.
only have one entry on that list, and it is CD Projekt Red.
I've I want to say I have two, sort of three. One is CD Projekt Red, the other one is Nintendo slash game like sort
Good
of
fucking god, no.
yeah
Hell no.
yeah. They've like
Well, like, I guess
Name
you
the
can
last-
trust Game Freak to make the same game they've been making
no
for the
not
last
that
20 years.
Game Freak is not Nintendo.
Yeah, Game Freak is the company
Game-
that behind
Yes, but it's
the
but
Pokemon
it's
games.
not but it's not Nintendo.
Yeah, no, they're a separate company.
Yeah, I don't necessarily not trust Game Freak. It's just like Nintendo isn't, or sorry, Game Freak and slash Pokemon isn't really the game I want to play anymore because it's geared towards children. It always has been, but
And
I used to be a
it's
child,
always
and
been
now I'm not.
a kid's game, and I've outgrown it.
Yeah.
I fucking love.
But it's not.
Pokemon,
It doesn't make it a bad studio or a bad game.
But
No.
I don't want to play
Company.
the Pokemon games anymore. I loved Pokemon X and Y.
I'm
and that
still thinking
felt
about getting Sword and Shield, but it's
fresh
like
to me.
this is like 3 months now. You know.
Eh,
But
I mean, if you're gonna
I
waffle
felt like
about it
X
this
and
long-
Y was the
Yeah.
return to form, and it gave me the nostalgia I wanted that I'm never gonna get again.
But no, but when it comes to Nintendo, Super Mario Odyssey was super fun. Breath of the Wild was super fun. I also got what's it called?
Splatoon.
No, the
No?
new slash old Link. I can't remember what it's called.
Oh, I know what you mean.
Oh my god, it has
uh,
the Windfish and the thing. Anyway, the remake.
Yeah.
It's not a Link to the Past. It's the other one.
I thought it was-
It came out on Game Boy.
Spirit Tracks.
No,
No.
Game
No.
Boy.
No.
I can't remember the title
Game
right
Boy.
now. I'm driving myself insane. But anyways, the remake that just recently came out, that was fun. They're still working on the new Metroid game. I think that's going to be really good.
Are
even
they
though
actually
I'm
going
not
to
a
come out
Metroid
with
fan.
the new Metroid Prime, right?
Yeah, I think so. I'm not a huge Metroid fan because I just
Mm.
don't love.
Well, the Metroid Prime games were good though.
yeah,
they were
but
just
they
good
are good.
games.
So I'm expecting that to be really good.
Mhm.
And again, I'm looking forward to the new Breath of the Wild. Like, I don't think there's that much wrong with Nintendo in terms of pre-purchasing stuff.
Mhm.
Uh,
If
Nintendo
you-
games, I'm not going to say anything against.
Well, I mean,
Nintendo products and services.
products and services or it's not products necessarily, but yeah, like the services, like the online services.
I
kinda
get
weird.
that the online service is the cheapest subscription between
Yeah, I think
all
for
the
like
main
3
consoles.
months you get it's like 10. It's like
Well, it's like
15
$20 bucks a year or something like that.
something like that. Yeah,
20, I think 20 US actually per year.
but still, like that's really good.
And then to use any of the social or chat features, you have to use a cell phone.
Yeah,
Like half the features of the service you can't even use on the console. What
it's
the
sort of
fuck?
weird. It is like, but Nintendo doesn't care.
No,
I know they don't care.
and that goes
Because it's
right
not
back
like-
to my earlier comment.
Yeah, it's not like they get around together and like they sit around in a boardroom.
Nintendo makes it a point not to look at what their competitors are doing,
Yeah.
and they make it a point not to listen to customer feedback.
Yes.
They just do what they're going to do, and
Do
you
it
either
well.
have to be happy about it or you can complain about
But,
it.
but what they
and
do, they do
nothing
well.
will happen.
They do well. It's not like they're half-assing it. You don't have to love either the lack of feature or the specific feature that they're presenting, but they do what they do well.
The fact that
and
you
then
have
they
to
print
use a
money.
cell phone
They print money.
to do any sort of communication over the Nintendo
Really?
network,
Yeah.
that is half-assing it.
It's how they wanted to do it. They committed to it.
Has
knew.
multiplayer actually improved at all?
I don't
Do
know.
you still have to share like your giant friend code with
That's
people?
the other thing. I don't really like playing games online very much. I really just like playing single player games for the most part.
And that's fair.
That's fair.
So I don't know anymore.
But multiplayer games, the Nintendo console is
Yeah.
gimped for it. It's really just worse for them.
It's not great.
If
Every
they-
other system, like PC, Xbox, PlayStation, all of them, even if you don't like multiplayer, they do it well.
But here's the thing. I like objectively speaking, you're right. Subjectively speaking, for myself,
The
I
Dreamcast
don't-
had better online than
subjectively
the Switch.
speaking for myself, I don't care because I don't play online. So therefore, I don't need to communicate with anybody online.
Yeah.
That's all it comes down to. And if they keep on making really good single player games like Breath of the Wild, like Mario Odyssey, same thing applies. Does not matter.
and that's fair.
Anyways,
In the
I
past,
think-
I could say that I
Yeah.
trusted Valve.
no.
I can't say that anymore,
yeah, me
just
too.
because it's been about a decade since they've made a game that I've played.
What was
Yeah,
the
it's
last,
really tough.
What was the last Valve game that you played?
Left 4 Dead 2.
Either Left 4 Dead 2 or like Half-Life 2 Episode 2, something like that.
Right.
And since then, all they've come out with was like Artifact.
Sure.
I think
like-
Portal 2 was my last.
Well, I mean,
game.
they've come out with Dota, right?
They've
Eh.
done good things since then. I know that they
Yeah.
have the potential to do very well.
It's not the same though.
Like Steam has just gotten better and better. Library, arguable, whatever.
It's
but
in a while.
The service has been good. They've gotten more consumer friendly as countries have legislatively forced them to. Their support for like hardware and operating systems, like the state of Linux gaming, is thanks to Valve. The
Sure.
state of Linux graphics drivers is
Mostly
thanks to Valve.
Yeah.
I can't trust Valve games right now, but there's none that I actively do trust.
Sure. It really comes down to there's not a lot of companies you want to trust, but if there are, go ahead
I would
and support
trust
them.
indies
Support them.
over major game companies right now, and I would not fucking trust indies.
That weirdly out of context sounds really strange. Thank you for listening. We hope you enjoyed.
Distrustfully signing out.
We hope you enjoyed the return of Nancy.
Don't trust us. Don't
Uh,
trust anybody, not even yourself.
Jesus Christ, calm
That
down,
got dark.
please. Thank you for listening. Goodbye.
Bye.
See you next episode.